Good afternoon. Today is our next session of our Agfluencers. And just to remind you what we are doing here, we are inspiring young generation, we're inspiring young ladies to work in sustainable agriculture and join our global network of women who are working in agriculture. And today we have interesting guest. Her name is Jamila La Malfa-Donaldson, and she's the researcher at the Agfluencers University in the United Kingdom. But also, it's even more interesting part, she is the founder of Prohempotic, a startup which will revolutionize the hemp industry. Jamila, very nice to meet you, and thank you so much for your time today.
No, thank you, Marina. What a wonderful introduction.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
So my question is firstly very simple. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and then just link your background with hemp? How do you find your bridge from your childhood, from your education to hemp?
Absolutely. So, quick life story. Yes, so thank you again for your introduction. My name is Jamila La Malfa-Donaldson, and I grew up in Southeast London. That's where my family still are. And I'm of mixed heritage. My father is Jamaican and my mother is Italian. And I have siblings, and I grew up there. And I had a very keen interest in science from a young age and enjoyed a better understanding how things work. And I took part in many different activities. I had a rich experience, and I went on to study chemical engineering at the University of Birmingham. I did a 4-year integrated master's program. And then following that, I worked as a science communicator, running STEM workshops with school children across the UK and abroad.
So you know what is STEM in details. Probably you are a STEM ambassador, yes?
Yeah, I do advocate for STEM education that includes science, technology, engineering, maths, and increasingly a respect and an integration of the arts and creative aspect that is needed to problem solve. And I had very hands-on activities, young people, and I saw the power of educating young people and equipping them with the tools and the resources and the amazing effect and impact they can have. And it's incredibly empowering. So I find STEM a very important part of education, but I was really, really keen to continue research. I fell in love with research during my master's research project for my chemical engineering degree. And I love the up and down. I love the excitement, the drama. It's you walk in one day and it's a different thing, a new problem, everything's toppled down, everything that can go wrong goes wrong in research. And I absolutely live for it. It's so exciting. And I've just tried to make the most of the opportunities. And so after beginning to think about moving on with life, I started a family, I had my first child, I really wanted to really think more about my impact and my role and my purpose. And I've come across hemp before, and it was something I just didn't really see a way in. And then I was presented with this incredible opportunity to work with hemp here at Agfluencers University. So I literally packed my life up and drove the truck myself across the country to this rural part. I've never been to Wales. I didn't think I'd ever end up here. And it is just an amazing place, so beautiful and surrounded by nature. It's been an incredible journey. And so we were just talking earlier about my opportunity to grow with hemp. You know, it's on so many levels and having so many incredible opportunities that I'm so grateful for. So yeah, I'm rambling on, but yeah, that's kind of how I got here somehow.
Yeah, but it's very brave, Jamila. It's very brave to be able to decide to change your life in one day and just move. Have you moved with your family? Yes.
Yes, yes.
Also,
And
it's
so
it's
it was
impact for all other members of your family, and I understand how it was challenging for everyone just to change. But yeah, well done. And so you are still doing your PhD research, yes?
I'm so close. I have been working on my research for
Uh-huh.
coming up 4.5 years now. I had my second child, we had COVID, we had lockdown,
Wow.
and it's been a journey, but I'm so grateful to now be writing up my thesis. So I'm really in a time of reflection. I'm really in a time of gratitude and just wanting to give back. So I've been delighted to have this opportunity to just maybe share an insight into what is possible. And I think that's been one of the most empowering things that I've done for myself, is to inspire myself.
Mhm.
And yeah, so thank you. It's been great.
And so what's your research about? What is the
Yeah.
key topic of your scientific research about hemp?
Okay. So my working title is the valorization of industrial hemp for secondary metabolites in waste streams. So
Sounds very
long,
scientific,
it's a
yes.
long, it's very specific, but if I could just put it in a bit of a wider context.
Mhm.
So studying hemp will help us to explore other ways to create products, other ways to uh, support ourselves and provide resources that we need in order to live and to so what I wanted to look at was the value of the hemp plant. It's been widely illegalized across the world.
Mhm.
Its research has really been stunted, although it's one of our most ancient crops. And so we wanted to reignite the research in this area to really better understand the value of this plant. And so one of the first questions you ask is, well, how does it get in there? What is the value in this? And so you need to understand how it grows. And so growing became a really important part of this puzzle, but had a lot of challenges getting that started. And so what I did a lot of was developing testing methods so we can better understand what value is in this plant, because we need to know what that looks like, what it's made up of, and then if we want to extract that value, we need to understand what we're putting into our process to get out this value. So we really need to understand how much, just to quantify it, to really understand how many of those compounds were in there, and then look at different ways to extract those compounds. And so I did a lot more work around the purification of that. So you want to get just your value, you want to get rid of anything else that you don't need, and you just want to end up with a valuable product. And that's what I was looking for hemp. And with a specific focus though on the flower and the leaf of the plant. So these contain really powerful compounds that are quite unique to the cannabis plant, in the sense that how much accumulates in it, how much it builds up. And these are cannabinoids. So these are just chemical compounds that are very unique. And I wanted to explore how much of those are in this plant, what happens as the plant grows and how it changes, and then how can we extract these valuable therapeutic compounds from this plant so that we can help people benefit not only from the product but also from the crop itself. Sorry, I'm getting quite
No,
random.
that's absolutely fine. So I just want, as I am an ordinary person and I am not doing a PhD in chemistry and any other related areas, just want to understand cannabinoids. Are they CBD or not? CBD. What is CBD from the point of view of
Yeah,
cannabinoids?
great. So you've heard of CBD before, you've come across it. It is basically an acronym for one of those chemical compounds, which is cannabidiol, CBD, sorry,
Yeah.
cannabidiol. CBD is actually one of many different cannabinoids. And
Okay.
so the actual psychotropic effects that are associated with cannabis or hemp in this regard as well is that they are it's related to the compound THC, or delta 9, actually THC.
Mm-hmm.
CBD is one of the other compounds that do accumulate in the plant, and depending on the cultivar, the type that it is of
Mm-hmm.
hemp, you're going to get more levels of the CBD. So CBD is one of many,
Uh-huh.
and it's uh, you probably heard of it before. I don't know, have you tried any, Marina?
Yes, yes, sure. It's one of the, I understand it can be said that it's one of the recommended methods how to improve mental health. Especially, I was introduced to CBD oil when it was, as you said, lockdown, and it was quite challenging time for everyone. So, and we tried to survive with some innovative methods. Yes, that's why. So thank you so much for this brief introduction to this CBD science. Now we know that CBD is just one of the one of the possible type of the cannabinoids. So how about the commercial side of your research? As I understand, Prohempotic is something which you would like to pivot from pure science to practical application. So what's behind the idea of Prohempotic, please? Can you tell us?
Yes, so Prohempotic is my business that is aimed at developing innovative solutions that are powered by hemp. So I'm looking at commercializing research. That's what really excites me. I poured over papers and papers, not only on topics within my discipline, but in the wider field, and really better understand this plant and its impact. And it covers so many different things. But then looking in and beginning to better understand how to take these valuable products that we can make from an incredibly sustainable plant in a way that could possibly be even carbon negative. You know, we're talking about exploring real impactful solutions to some of our most challenging problems. And so I wanted to better understand how can we now actually make this practically viable. We need to sustain this. We need, and it's the way the world works. We've got to commercialize it. We've got to make it make sense. We've got to exchange value. And I understand that. And so I'm looking at extracting the value from hemp. In order for us to really build, we have to act now to see effects long after we're gone. So we need to act now and make impactful decisions about what we do and how we do it. And that's really what I wanted to do with Prohempotic. It started from just an idea.
When did you start? When this idea appeared in your head?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we've, you know, a lot of being an entrepreneur, wanting to have a business, it's always been something that drove me. I honestly just wanted to really work on my own ideas and to see how far I can take them. But coming towards the end of my PhD, I thought it was really important for me to just develop some business acumen, to get ready for whatever was next for me. And so I took part on accelerator programs, I prepared pitches, and I was able to win some funding for my business.
Yes,
And
this is one of the interesting points that I understand that you applied Prohempotic for the Innovators Award from the Innovate UK, yes? And
yes, that's
you
how,
won it.
yeah.
It's very honorable for you. So please tell us what is the idea behind this project which you applied exactly. So how and how do you plan to realize it now?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I've been very honored to have been awarded, and the opportunity is incredible. And so I want to encourage people to keep searching, keep finding those opportunities that are meant for you, and don't hold yourself back. Really challenge yourself, but you have to take it. You have to keep going. You've got to keep putting yourself out there, and things will not work out. That's part of the process. Tick them off. You've got to get 50 no's to get to that one yes. Whatever your ratio is, I'm pretty good. I make sure I take targeted focus. And so please keep lookout, keep going. Let's pull resources together. And because of that, yeah, it's an incredible opportunity. But really, honestly, the value of these things is networking. Get networking. You have to meet people, get aligned more with your vision and your mission, and then find people that are on the same wavelength. You have to keep going. Okay, so really network yourself, keep applying, keep putting yourself out there and sharing as much as you can. And then yeah, the award, I'm hoping now to utilize this to just get a really better grip on my business. It's been really difficult trying to get started essentially, whilst I'm still literally wrapping up my PhD. And so, you know, I've taken it at a pace that I'm happy with, but I always push myself to line up the next thing, because it's really important that you just keep laying the track, and that's all it is, a step at a time. So keep going and set those real intentions, and laser focus. That's what you need, because you're gonna hear a lot of noise. You're gonna hear a lot of noise.
Jamila, and how about your internal inspiration and your internal energy? I understand, as you said, after 50 application and 50 attempts, you will have just one winning attempt. So where do you get this energy to continue? What inspires you as a young entrepreneur, as a founder of your own startup? Where do you find this energy?
Well, I think it's a kind of deeper part of you that you want to feel, that you want to realize your potential. And I think that we all have a right to do that. You know, we all have a right to pursue that. We want to pursue life. We want to pursue the life that we live. So I honor life, and that keeps me going. And I think that's very much tied into, you know, my friends, my family, of course, and the people around me, the people that, you know, are very much around me to support me. So I have to keep going. I have to keep going for them, but firstly for myself. So it's an ongoing journey. It's I don't, you know, it's not about the number. It's about, you know, the energy. You have to make sure that you match it with the energy you have, and you do the best that you can. Be gentle and kind with yourself. It's been really hard. It's a lot going on right now. Okay, so, you know, take a deep breath. Calm down, everything's going to be okay. And I think that's what I've focused on, is better managing my energy. Some of us have more than others, and it's understandable, and that's okay. Focus on the right things. So that's to continue what I try and do. And it is, you know, it's a journey. It really is. And I'm trying to grow through this. So yes, we keep energizing ourselves, and we help each other to do that. So yeah.
Okay. And how about any external resources which you use for yourself to cheer up? And maybe you have some favorite book which you read, and you found some nice things which you would like to recommend for other listeners and the people who are watching us. Or maybe there is some person who you follow in any social media or just in your life. Can you give us some more insights on that part?
Okay, yeah. Just the top of my head, because I try and take inspiration from many different places. I'm inspired by you and
Thank you.
your work with no, absolutely, Agfluencers. I was just listening to some of the other guests. Please check them out, because it's just incredibly inspiring. But I think one of the most impactful things I've done is actually kind of just get a better insight into how I think and why, and just get to know myself a little bit better. Why do I make certain decisions? And it's been an ongoing work. Funnily enough, I kind of found a lot of help through kind of MBTI content, like your personality type. I don't know, have you ever looked into that, Marina?
Yes, I've heard about that, because also I'm interested in this personal development and all the stuff which can help you to understand who you are and why are you here and what are you doing and what is the purpose of your life. So yeah, this is about me as well. So I absolutely understand. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just giving you an example, but I've definitely found a channel, and I've listening to their content for a very long time, and it's Wednesdays, WENZES, Wednesdays INFJ. And if you're an INFJ and you think you are, tap into that and get it right, and like you're fine. It's just yeah, I think just learning more about myself has been very helpful. I don't have a lot of time to necessarily read books anymore, but I'm looking forward to, if you have any recommendations, absolutely do share. But yeah, I mean, all I think about is hemp now. So yeah, there's some incredible resources that are now being available.
Tell us about hemp books, or maybe something from hemp industry which you recommend us to. Okay, I'm sure that many people would like to start at least with something. So what book or what resource do you recommend to start with?
I mean, if you want a quick one, I don't know. I like my big books, and you know, they're very in depth, but great. Oh man, absolutely. I have to say, the Canna Manual And then there's what is the name of the book by Tammy Sweet? It's she's a herbalist and a scientist as well. It's like the medical use of it. But then I also like to read a lot of patient stories as well. So there's the Cladwell
The
family and
feedback from real people, yes. To
yeah,
understand
oh
how
my
it is.
goodness, the incredible stories of just hope and transformation that these families have found. And it's just incredible I really wouldn't be able to have the opportunity I do have now if it wasn't for patients and them advocating for access and research. And I just hope that I can begin to share and help in any way that I can. But yeah.
But that's fine. And my question is also regarding your own experience of introduction to a personal use of hemp products and CBD oil. So when did you start first time to use something hemp related?
Well, actually, that's really interesting because it was my husband who was looking for something online. He was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna order this," and I'm just like, "What's that?" It's so just interesting. "Oh, I'm just getting some hemp seed protein powder." And I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "Yeah, no, I like to have a shake after the gym, and I'm looking for something gluten free and dairy free, and something a bit different." And he's like, "Yeah, this stuff's really good. I'm just gonna get some more." And I was kind of like, "Oh," and so I didn't know much at the time. And as you learn, you're just so fascinated by this
Yes.
incredible plant. So this got so many uses and really, really, really useful characteristics. Like in terms of its functionality, it does a pretty good job in so many categories. And then you have, of course, all of the environmental benefits of hemp. So just being, exploring that. I came from a kind of chemical engineering background where the kind of funnel was always into kind of typical oil and gas industries, and I very quickly found that I was looking for alternatives. And so I like to say I'm kind of like a chemical engineer gone green, because now I'm doing plant science and analytical chemistry and lots of different things. And so my introduction to hemp was really through food, and then that's now why my current focus is developing plant-based food products made with hemp ingredients. So looking at potential avenues for how we can essentially commercialize this research, and so there's a lot that needs to go into that, and I'm looking forward to just seeing what I can do with the resources I have.
I remember your photo in one of your blogs. There is a photo where you hold the seeds of hemp at Smith Innovation and Science Center, something like that.
Yeah.
And it looks like you are keeping it and holding it and just looking like, here, the future of gold. Gold is here in my hands, because
Yeah.
I also believe that hemp has huge positive perspective for all humanity, and that's why I'm very excited that you are working exactly on improving how the people are using hemp, and especially I hope that on legal part of this life of hemp life, it will be also easier, because as I know, am I right that in the UK it's not legal actually to grow hemp for personal use? I can't grow it in my backyard. Is it correct? Yes, it's still illegal.
Yeah, no, in order to grow hemp in the UK, you currently, as it stands, you need to be granted a license from the Home Office. So this is a governmental department, and you would need to apply for a license. There is a fee for an initial application, and then a renewal fee after that. And that's just to allow you to grow hemp of EU approved seeds.
Okay, so it's quite limited.
So absolutely, there is talks of it, the kind of list expanding as such. I'm not sure, but you are limited to typically multi-purpose kind of seeds. So these are varieties and cultivars that have been bred over a long time for specific applications. So you're going to get some that are hybrid in terms of you get good seed and fiber yield, but then you also have single use applications. And so, yeah, you can grow hemp. We did it here for the first time in 2020. at the university on their land. And then what I did was take one of those cultivars to better kind of manage it better so I could sample it more regularly as well. I then took 77 seeds and I grew them in growth cabinets, and then they outgrew those, and then I moved them to the greenhouses. And I did that for 2 cycles, 2 seasons, and I was able to gather a lot of data that I'm now pouring through to write up my thesis. So yeah, I think the work I'm doing is interesting, but yeah, it's about really understanding this plant and getting the foundation right. There's a lot of claims that are put out there for what CBD can do for your health or not, and there is still a misunderstanding. And for me, I just need kind of numbers to work with, and so it's important that we kind of gather this data at a representative scale, I guess. So yeah, it's been interesting.
When I was researching by myself, or before I started to use CBD, I also made some own research, and I found that there are a lot of facts which still need to be approved, still need confirmation. So yes, you're absolutely right that this is the industry which is growing, and this is the part of the research, research life of the world which need to be done. Okay, so thank you so much, Jamila. Thank you so much for your today's time with us, for all the information that you give us, for all insights about hemp industry, and I honestly wish you good luck with hemp.
Thank you so much.
And yes, so we will stay in touch and we will continue our collaboration together. Okay.
Thank you so much. Oh, it's such a pleasure, Marina. Thank you for having me.